Okay.
And at age 21, we can drink.
But at age 13, in this one circumstance, you're given the unbelievable responsibility of a life and death choice. Now let's think about this for a second.
That's power.
That's
at age 13.
That is power that is dramatically misplaced. Because think about this for a second. I mean, even putting aside the decision-making process, okay, the fact that a 13-year-old should not ever have to be put into that position. But they can be, 13 or 14 or 15 years old. Here's the thing. Your parent is not supposed to know unless you decide to tell them. So what if you have this 13 or 14 or 15-year-old girl who ends up getting an abortion and emotionally is scarred by this matter? But now, first of all, her parents couldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
by
law, now her parents are there to try and raise her, and there's something wrong. And they have no idea what it is. And they're not allowed to know what it is. What kind of parenting are you asking them to give when the law says you cannot have the involvement in your child's life to potentially save it? Do you understand that suicides among young women is higher amongst young women who have had abortions than it is amongst young women who haven't? I don't know what the statistics are. I've looked at a number of them. It's higher. So think about this. You have a young girl who's given the life and death option, if you will, is not given full and fair disclosure, in my opinion, because she's not shown what that unborn child looks like. She's not talked to about what the procedure is like. She's given it. It's done in secret and in quiet. And now if she is suffering with guilt and her parents are not allowed to know, what if she takes her own life? Now you have two lives that those parents had no control over. How could we possibly take that out of the hands of a parent?
Makes no sense.
Folks, that's what this issue has come to. That's really what this issue has come to. It is an important thing that we're dealing with here. It's very sad and very difficult. Jonathan, let's get now to our theme text. You know, we talked about it at the very beginning. I haven't mentioned it since.
Psalms 139, 13-16. For it was you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, that I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you, when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them as yet existed.
This is a beautiful picture of that. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, that I know very well. And when the psalmist is talking about the making of him, he's talking about his formation from the very, very beginning, from the things that you can't even see to becoming a human being. I mean, folks, think about the miracle of life. The miracle, as has been so eloquently brought out by so many of you that have contributed, of the forming of this unique DNA pattern that becomes an entirely, completely unique individual. And now look, birth happens throughout all of the natural world. The difference with human birth is that not only do we have that same process on the physical sense, but you have that ability to reason that is completely unique in each of us. And you have talents that come out in each of us that are completely different. You know, you used to sing to your baby.
Yeah.
I did too, and it didn't sound as good. And I used to talk to my preborn children all of the time because there was a miracle. There was a miracle happening there. And folks, we need to wrap this up. And this next few minutes here is really dedicated to those of you who may be in a decision-making process. Sometimes life is difficult. Sometimes you may get yourself into situations such as an unwanted pregnancy that'll ruin your plans, change your course, and permanently redirect your life. So the question here that we've raised this morning is, what should you do? What should you do? Because you do have a choice. Should you end the pregnancy to avoid the changes and the disruption in your life? Well, you know, by law, you could do that, and it's perfectly legal. But the question you must ask yourself is what are the lasting results of such an action? You see, we never really know what the results are of our actions until after we've taken them. Suicide, depression, and guilt are very, very real outcomes of those who have abortions. Worse than that, worse than the difficulties on yourself, there is now a life that can no longer have the ability to be lived. You think about that because that's what you're holding in your hand, is that precious, precious life. Abortion is a basic moral matter. Don't let anybody ever tell you it's just a matter of choice. It is a basic moral matter. If you take the time to simply look at pictures of fetal development, understand the development, the timeline, the presence of precious life is absolutely undeniable. If you're very brave, you can view the barbaric, graphic, and mournful results of abortion on the web. There's a website, abortionno.org. Do not go there unless you are stout of heart. If you are considering abortion, go there and look and see what they show you, because it gives you the reality. Don't live your life out of convenience, because it will simply make you unhappy. Don't live your life wishing some things did not happen. What that does is it destines you to relive your past. Don't live your life having had to hide your decisions. All that's going to do is swallow you up in guilt. Instead, do the right thing. Take full, complete responsibility. Decide to do something that most won't. Decide to step above where most people live. Decide to take on the job, the difficult job of going through with it. Press forward in spite of the odds. And in so doing, you not only find yourself, you'll find happiness and a clear conscience and a life that you had the opportunity to give. Folks, we hope you've enjoyed being with us this morning and dealing with a very, very difficult subject. Back again next week with a different subject, I promise. For Jonathan and Rick, this is Christian Questions. And really the question is, so what about life? Think about it.